everyone, and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel and part 9 of the Fake It and Make It series. Today we're going to be sharing the grid challenge with you, where we'll be creating a 12 by 12 scrapbook layout using a grid structure. To start off with, I'm going through my Maggie Holmes Bloom paper pad and I'm selecting different papers that I'm going to want to back my photos onto. I'm just using my trimmer so I can remove the branding strips, and I'll be able to align my photos on the edges to make it easier for cutting individually. I'm then using my Fiskars trimmer to roughly trim down my photos so I can work out where I'm going to start putting them onto the grid. I decided to use the photos from our wedding ceremony for this layout, and I'm actually going to be using 7 photos, and because of the grid it works really well and it's an easy way of using lots of photos but only on one layout. Once I finish trimming my photos, I am going to create some marks. These are going to be little guidelines for me to follow. I didn't want to draw obvious, noticeable lines, but I did want to have marks for myself so I can keep it to the grid guidelines and not have one piece that's 5 inches long and one piece that's 2 inches. I'm then using some double-sided sticky tape and I'm backing 3 of the photos onto this black and white polka dot paper, and I'm then going to trim them, and they're going to be the base layer for those clusters. I'm then going to repeat the process with another 2 photos onto this beautiful wood grain paper, and I absolutely love the wood grain papers from Create Paper and American Crafts. They're some of my favourite papers. And once I've done those, I'm then again going to repeat the process with the last 2 photos, and this will be on this beautiful bow paper. When it came to sorting out the photos, I did want to keep them in a fairly chronological order. Obviously I still had to pay attention to where the photos would fit as they're different sized, but it worked out quite well. And this happens to be my favourite layout of the whole series that I've created, and I just love it and I cannot wait for you to see it finished. Next, I'm trimming apart the Jen Hadfield cut apart sheet, and I'm trimming just the excess off of the grey and black card, and I'm just cutting these into strips which I will add to the tops and sides of the different papers and cards. I'm then using the cut apart sheet that comes in the Maggie Holmes Bloom paper pad, and I'm going to add that as a surround to a couple of my photos. To hold these in place before sticking them down completely, I'm just using a few strips of double-sided sticky tape so that they do stay together, but that I can work around and change things about if I need to. I found that using this grid was a great way of using up my paper scraps. It was easy to use up offcuts of paper, of branding strips, parts of cut aparts I wouldn't normally use, and it was actually really fun working on those tiny little squares. Next, I'm getting my putty eraser and I'm just removing those lines that I made for myself earlier, and I'm going to be sticking down my bottom 2 photos. I'm now putting a card on top of the doily in the middle top section, but that doesn't stay there, it only serves as a place saver for me at the moment. I'm then now working on another photo where I've used just a teeny tiny piece of floral pattern that was in one of the cut aparts, and I'm now layering some black card behind that, and I think I may even use a grey piece of card at the bottom. I'm then going to stick that down and pop that in place. I'm now moving on to the middle photo, and I'm going to back this onto the wood grain paper using a tiny piece of double-sided sticky tape to keep that in place. Once I've trimmed that down, I'm then going to go through my scrap papers in the bottom of my box and take just a few sections which I'm going to cut up, and I'm going to use those for layers. I choose one of the word strips which says a lovely day, and I place that on the top of the photo, and I think it works great as a way of bringing your eye to the centre of the layout. I'm then going to take a tiny strip of this gingham black and white pattern, and I'm going to put that on the top, and then I'm going to stick the photo down. I also decided to use this black piece from the same cut apart sheet that says collect beautiful moments, but when I put it behind the photo I thought I also wanted to use this other piece which has a black wreath on a cream piece of paper. So what I've done is trim down the cream piece, and I'm going to stick that with the wreath sticking ever so slightly out of the top, and then I'm going to layer the black piece behind that as well. I did decide to add another grey strip to the bottom of this photo to mirror the one that's on the left hand side, and I think it works really well. I'm creating unique little frames for all of these photos out of the different bits of paper. Moving on to the top right hand side photo, and I'm taking the other half of the black piece that I used on the photo below it, and then I'm going to go back to my Maggie Holmes paper pad, and I'm going to take the black gingham Polaroid looking frame, and I'm going to cut that out and layer that directly behind the photo. Once again, I'm remembering to use my eraser and get rid of the pencil lines that I drew before sticking my photo down. I'm now going to trim off my doily that I've placed in the middle of my two top photos, and I just slice a piece off of the bottom, and then I'm going to stick it just slightly over that gingham. Next up is the top left photo, and I'm keeping this one really simple. I'm just adding another black strip at the top of the photo, and then I'm going to just use some more double-sided sticky tape and stick it straight down. Now I'm going to stick my doily down in the centre and take these black alphas from my Simple Story sticker sheet, and I'm going to spell out I vow, and then I'm going to take the full stops from the exclamation marks, and I'm going to put one of those on either side. I knew I wanted to have something really pretty and delicate for the embellishments and spaces on this layout, so I'm decided to go through my ephemera and die cut packs, and I find this gold wreath, so I'm going to use that and some more of those alphas from the Simple Story sticker sheet, and I'm going to spell out I do. I'm then going to take some double-sided sticky tape and secure that wreath in place. And now is when the fun really happens for me. My favourite part is the embellishing. So at the moment I'm going through my chipboard, and I am contemplating a few of the different flowers, but I do decide to use these Jen Hadfield ones from the die cut pack in my SOS items, and I'm going to use a mixture of the pink and the yellow ones. I'm going to, in the left hand corner, layer the pink and yellow overlapping, and then for the right hand side I'm just going to use these yellow ones. I'm then going to take some tiny word stickers from my Simple Story sticker sheet, and I'm going to pop those across the different photos, and I'm just going to use a mismatch of all of the different embellishments which I have in my kit and my SOS items, and I'm just going to go and add details and a little bit of embellishment to all of the different sections. I really enjoy using these open heart stickers as well as the tiny word stickers and one of the tab stickers from the Simple Story sheet. That's where most of the embellishments on this layout do come from. The layout's almost finished now, and there will be close-ups and detail shots at the end, so please do wait for that. Please don't forget to head over to Julia's channel to check out her layout. It's absolutely gorgeous. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you're enjoying this series. It's been so much fun. If you are new, please do subscribe to my channel and leave me any comments or questions or suggestions in the comments section below. I'll see you next week with the final part of the Fake It and Make It series.